Hello everyone, welcome to our live lounge today. My name's Raphael and today I'm joined with Philippa, our admissions manager. How are you doing today, Philippa?
I'm good, thank you, Raphael. How are you?
I'm brilliant. So we're here today to talk about what you can expect from an offer here at Lincoln, guide you through your next steps leading up to September. And we really would love to encourage you to comment during the live lounge, anything you've got on your mind, bursting questions for our admissions manager. Right, diving straight in to some questions about the types of offers and UCAS points. Philippa, could you explain a little bit more about the difference between a conditional and an unconditional offer?
Yeah, so most of our offers will be conditional. So that'll mean that you'll need to meet a certain set of conditions in order to begin your studies here with us at Lincoln. So achieve certain exam results, certain grades. Typical conditional offer from us would be to achieve a minimum number of UCAS points from A levels or equivalent type qualifications. So most of our offers here at Lincoln are conditional on achieving certain grades.
So some of our offer holders have let us know they received a contextual offer.
Mm-hmm.
Please, can you let me know a little bit more about what the criteria for this is? Because I have no idea.
Right, okay, yeah. So contextual offer making has been around for a lot of years now. A lot of universities have implemented this kind of offer making in their processes. It's a way of removing barriers to higher education, and it makes sure that all applicants have fair access, regardless of their background or personal circumstances. Last year, we did start using contextual data to make offers, and that was mainly on where you lived as a key indicator. But this year we've enhanced that to expand that into the school or college where you live, if you receive or have received free school meals, if you have a disability, or if you've been a care leaver as well. So we take into account all those bits of criteria to assess if you would meet the eligibility for a contextual offer. And a contextual offer would be a reduction in the advertised entry requirements of up to 1 grade or 8 UCAS points. So if you have received one of those offers, that's what that means. And if you do want a little bit more information about that, our applicants can go on our website and have a look to see what that's all about.
That is really incredible. So you said that those contextual offers, they look at just one kind of grade less than what a typical offer might look like. Could you tell me a bit about what a typical offer from Lincoln looked like, kind of in regards to A levels, BTECs, mixed and EPQs?
Yeah, so a typical offer from us would be to achieve a minimum number of UCAS points from A levels or equivalent qualifications. Now, there's lots of different qualifications now that we accept. A lot of them are listed in the UCAS tariff calculator as well. So you may receive this type of offer if you were studying A levels or even a mix of qualifications. So a lot of our applicants, they do study a mix of qualifications such as A levels and BTECs as well. So we do accept a large range of qualifications from our applicants.
And by the way, happy UCAS deadline day, isn't it?
It is. Yes.
6 p.m. tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, 6 p.m. tonight. So it's what is known as the UCAS equal consideration date. So what that means is that any applications that we receive on or before that day, we have to consider. So, and that applies to every university in the UK as well. So, and then after that, after today, universities can actually start to close some of their courses where they've perhaps met their recruitment targets already. But here in Lincoln, we do tend to keep open for the majority of courses. But if you're not sure and you are thinking about applying after today, then please check our website, UCAS website, to check if we're still open.
And just one more thing about that. Let's say I've received a conditional offer and I've already received my grades. Is this normal?
Yeah, so some of our applicants, they may have taken a year out to travel, or they may have done a year's work experience, for example, and they may have already got their qualification. So, and what we tend to do at Lincoln, if we think they can meet the criteria of the course based on the grades that they've provided in their application, and we'll send them a conditional offer upon providing evidence of those qualifications. So, and then once we receive evidence of those, if they meet the requirements of the course, we will then change their offer to an unconditional offer.
Brilliant. So we've discussed a little bit about offers and UCAS. Now, I'd love to just take our next kind of section into responding to offers. But if you did have any specific questions about UCAS and receiving offers, please drop them in the comments and I'll ask them to Philippa. But so how long does it usually take to receive an offer?
So it depends on the time of year that you're applying, really, and depending on how long it takes for us to process your application once it's submitted to UCAS. Usually within a few days, but obviously particularly around this time of year when we're receiving a real high influx of applications, it may take a little bit longer as well to hear from us. In addition to that, if your course requires an interview or an audition, it might be that it takes a little bit longer to hear from us in terms of waiting for an interview date, for example, or if we need some further information from you. So if there's some qualification information that we need, we might send you a request for that. So it might take a little bit longer than maybe the normal period of time we'd expect.
Great. So if I got an offer, how would I accept it?
Okay, so fairly easy. So hopefully you would already be used to your UCAS application.
Yeah.
So you log into your UCAS hub and you should be able to see where you reply to those offers or accept which option you want to choose as your first choice and your insurance choice.
So we've actually got a few questions coming in.
Marvellous.
So this one's from Lucy. If I don't get grades, would I be able to foundation year or would I have to apply through clearing?
Okay, so that depends on the course that Lucy's applied for. So if she's applied for a course that does offer a foundation year option, then if she doesn't quite meet the requirements of the course, we may offer her the foundation as an alternative when we receive her results in the summer. So there wouldn't be a need for her to apply through clearing for that. So if she's already applied to us, then we'll make that alternative option when we get her results in the summer.
Brilliant. I hope that answers your question, Lucy. Got a question about accommodation, which we have more details about accommodation, don't we, on our website?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
So I hope that helps. And I'll just do another question. If I forgot to include a module in my application, if I put 6 exams instead of 7, how big would the difference that make on my application?
Oh, tricky one. So again, we'd have to look at that application to see what sort of modules we're missing. If you've missed a qualification and you think that might make the difference between an offer and not an offer, or is it us accepting you on the course, and it might be worth getting in touch with us just to let us know that that's what's happened. And if we find that we do need it, we will be in touch with you if you've missed something off your application. So don't worry. If you've not quite met the requirements of the course and there's something missing or something not quite right, we will get in touch with our applicants to get that information from them.
Brilliant. Well, we've actually got a question from Instagram as well, asking how long after an interview would you anticipate receiving? Someone said that it's been about 2.5 weeks since the interview.
Okay, so again, depending on the course you've applied for, so typically for our health and social care programmes, for example, it's around 2 weeks after interview that we'd expect to hear, you would expect to hear back from us. And again, pharmacy interview, again, around two weeks from interview to you receiving the outcome of your interview on that. So yeah, just look out for that response in your inbox and in your UCAS hub as to the outcome of your interview. I
must say, Philippa, it's been overwhelming the amount of engagement we're getting in the comments.
Oh,
I just want to say
That's really
thank you very much and keep them coming. A quick question about offer holder days, open days. When will invitations be sent out, or where can they find it? But more about them.
Okay, so there's lots of information on our website about offer holder days, and I think our offer holder day invites are going out regularly. Our first offer holder days start in February, and you can book onto those as soon as you get that invite, and they're very specific to the subject you have an offer for as well. But there's lots of other people available there as well. So there's be accommodation to talk to. Admissions will be there. So if you have any admissions questions, and please come and have a chat with us as well. Please come and visit as well if you've not visited before, because if you come to Lincoln, you will accept us.
You'll love it.
Choice.
You'll really love it.
Yeah.
So when is the deadline to accept my offer?
Okay, so if you've applied before today, then you should have all of your offers back by the 14th of May from all of your choices. And then it's up to you to reply to those offers by the 5th of June. So we'd expect applicants to reply to those offers by the 5th of June. UCAS do send reminders for this as well, and it will be all over their UCAS application as well to remind applicants to reply to their offers by then. So yeah, 5th of June.
Great.
Yeah.
Key dates.
Key dates.
I saw we had the comment about kind of, the creative side. And let's say I've been invited to attend an audition on campus. Mm-hmm. What can I expect?
So Q&A sessions with student ambassador. I think it's quite a full day. So Q&A with student ambassador, you'll get an opportunity to speak to students, which is great. Take part in workshops as well. Tour of the facilities, which is really important to see where you're going to be studying. And of course, your audition or interview that you'll be involved with as well.
And for whatever reason it might be, what happens if I need to change my interview date?
So there should be some contact details in your invite. So just get in touch with us and we should be able to rearrange your interview for you. We understand that circumstances can mean that you need to change the date that you come. So yeah, please get in touch with us and we'll try and rearrange that for you for a different day.
Thanks. I got another question from Instagram. How long do we have to upload a portfolio requested from the university?
Oh, good question. Not 100% sure, if I'm being honest with you. If you've been asked to send a portfolio, I'd just advise to get it in as soon as possible, because that would mean that, a decision will be made on your application sooner. So good question. If that person wants to contact us, we can certainly find out for them to see how long that will be.
Brilliant. Another question from Instagram. So let's say I've applied for 2 subjects here at the University of Lincoln.
Yeah.
I've had an offer from one, but not the other. Is there anything to worry about for the second subject?
No, there shouldn't be. Again, if that second subject requires an additional step in the recruitment process, that might be a little bit of a delay. But there shouldn't be anything to worry about. Again, if that person wants to get in touch with us, we can have a look into that and see why they haven't had a response on their other application.
Now, online interviews, daunting and scary. Do you have any advice for these?
Yes, I do. Prepare like you would an in-person interview. So dress like you would for an in-person interview as well. Don't turn up in your pajamas, for example. But obviously, check your technology is working, your laptop, any apps have been updated. Research the subject that you're applying for, get some key points ready for any questions that you're asked. Excuse me. I'd advise to sit in a quiet room as well and just advise anyone in the house or anyone around you just to not distract you during that period that you're in your interview as well. I'd also, another bit of advice, any contact details, if anything does go wrong, technology does have a way of throwing you off at the most inconvenient moment. So
like
if you do...
Wi-Fi
the Wi-Fi, yeah. So if you do have any issues, then obviously you've got a contact detail for somebody to get in touch with just to let them know.
Got a really good question in the comments here from Maddie. If I've applied for journalism studies and be given a conditional, but I want to swap to journalism BA, would that be possible?
Yeah, so get in touch with us. If you've already had an offer, it's fairly easy for us to do. Just get in touch with us, say which course you want to change to. We'll just make sure that we can make you that offer. Highly likely, it's a very similar course, and we'll just change that for you in your UCAS application.
Splendid. So moving on to the next steps now. I've already had my offer. Is there a dedicated applicant days coming up?
Yeah, so offer holder days.
Yes.
So yeah, February, they start in February. You'll start to receive an invite to register if you've already had your offer.
Yeah.
And there's lots of, like I said previously, there's lots of tips and advice on our website about offer holder days and what you'd expect from it. So take a look on there and just have a little look around.
So we've navigated applying, getting an offer. When do we start applying for student finance?
So student finance normally opens around March time. I did have a little bit of a look for this yesterday and my own bit of research. There isn't an actual specific date yet, but it is normally around March time. So and I noticed as well that you can sign up for notifications from the student room as well. So it might be worth just, signing yourself up to find out when that date goes live. Advice to apply early to avoid delays in your application, because obviously the closer we get to starting to university start dates, the busier they'll get, and maybe the slower they will be at approving your application. So, and you can amend any of your details as well. So even if you put your university choices in and your course, you can change that at a later date if that changes. So just a bit of advice there to get in there early.
I think as well, just from me as a student, I would say student financing, you should really be on top of, isn't it? And, try and, I feel like what you said earlier in terms of timing, if you can, try and do it as soon as possible. I think it makes life so much easier. So, similar to what Maddie's question was, is it possible to change from my offer from insurance to firm?
Yeah, so you can change your replies all the way up to the 24th of July. So another key date to put in your diaries if you do need that. But you will need to contact UCAS for that. So they have to do that for you. Some universities, they allow UCAS to do that swap without permission. We do here, but some universities may have asked for permission first, so it might just take a little bit longer. But yeah, contact UCAS and they can do that for you.
Brilliant. And as we're kind of going through the steps, student finance offers, cementing the offer, and now I'm thinking about accommodation. Where can I apply for accommodation?
Again, if you go onto our university website, you can apply for accommodation now if you've accepted Lincoln as your firm choice. And you can go through the online booking portal on our website. And there's lots of information on there about the different types of accommodation, the prices for that accommodation as well. We have a really wide range of different types of accommodation here at Lincoln. So again, as I said previously on the finance question, do your research early and get that application in.
I think as well, a brilliant thing would be coming to our offer holder days where you can have guided accommodation tours and really get a feel for where you'll be potentially living. So if I take a little bit longer to apply to my offer than others, will this have an impact on my place on the course?
No, absolutely not. So if you've applied, obviously if you've applied now before the 29th of January and you've had your offers back, it's up to you when you reply up until that 5th of June deadline. So you could reply to your offer on the 5th of June and you'll still be at the same place as someone that replied to their offer on the 30th of September.
Brilliant. Yeah. Got a great question here in the comments. If I choose a course that has other sub-courses like languages or a year abroad, can I switch to one of them after taking up kind of like a main course with some time after term starts? Or, how does that what does that look like?
Good question. I think the answer is yes, likely. But again, that's quite a specific question. So if that person wants to get in touch with us, we can explore that, help them explore that with us and see what options there are for them to study something else alongside their main study.
Splendid.
Yeah.
Right. So I was predicted to meet entry requirements, however, received a reduced offer. Can you explain why this might be?
So it might be that you've met the criteria for a contextual offer. So as we talked about previously, we make reduced offers based on certain data that we get from our applicants. It might also be that you're attending a school or college that we work closely with to support students into higher education as well. So it might be that you've had a reduction in your offer from the advertised entry requirements based on either of those two things. So very lucky if you have.
Got a really good question here from Luca. In my application, it didn't ask me to choose modules. What does that mean?
So if you're choosing modules at the start of your course, you'll be asked to do that before you start the course. Normally, in your first year of study, I don't know how. It depends on what course you're studying as to what options you get, but you will be asked to choose your options before you start your course. So you wouldn't be expected to choose your optional modules at this point.
Got another really quick question. I think that's directed to me. What do I find so unique about the University of Lincoln that we not find other universities? And I guess I'll take a chance to answer that and say, I think for me, it's really the environment and the people. You know, I think there can be houses anywhere, but what makes it a home is the people inside. And the university here is such a close kind of knit of people that it feels like home. So I've not had any problems of homesickness because I felt tremendous amounts of support, not overwhelmed by the city that I live in either. And so I think that is the main things that made University of Lincoln something really special. Back to you, Philippa.
Yeah.
Although the UCAS deadline to receive offers is in May, on average, how long does it take Lincoln courses to roughly give an offer?
Yeah, so again, it depends on the time of year that you're applying. So if you're submitting your application now, it might be a little bit longer because we have a higher influx of applications. So typically a few days you'd expect to hear from us. So yeah, again, depending on the time of year really, and also depending on whether, your course needs an interview, for example, or an audition. So it might just be a little bit longer.
Yeah. Can I throw you a bit of a curveball here?
Oh, okay.
So obviously, all these students are working hard to get their grades, or maybe they're working in a kind of gap year. What advice would you give to prospective students who are trying to balance applying, and, interviews and whatever they're doing day to day as well? What kind of advice would you give?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for any prospective student, if we're looking ahead to next year, if there's anybody out there that's looking for 2026 entry, for example, put your application in early as well, do your research, get that bit out of the way, because then you can concentrate on your exams and your final assessment. So hopefully most of our viewers will have their applications in already, so they can really start concentrating on their final exams and their final assessment. So do your research as well, go to open days, go to offer holder days, attend live chats like this. And we do live link up chats as well. So they're just online chats. Get involved with the university early on, I would say, before you actually start, so that you feel part of the community before you actually step onto campus in September. Yeah.
And got a great question here. If we've already received our grades, so like IB, will it usually be a non-conditional offer or unconditional?
Unconditional offer, yeah. So if we've had your results from UCAS, for example, then we may be able to make your offer unconditional, but we'd have to see evidence of those qualifications before we change that offer to unconditional. So a bit like the applicants who apply on a year out, we still require evidence of those qualifications before we can change the offer to unconditional.
Brilliant. We've got another question from Luca here, who's been engaging. So thank you very much, Luca. And if anyone else does have any questions, please send them through now. I'd be more than happy to try and answer them. Are you flexible if I choose a module and want to change it later? And would the fact that I've applied for a foundation affect why it didn't ask me to pick them yet?
I don't think so. Again, going back to the picking modules question, that comes closer to the time when you start with us as a student. So if you have picked those modules already, then you can change them nearer the time. I think that's the question.
Yes.
We got to
thank you. Yeah. We got to thank you.
Okay.
And I've got a question here from Emily. When would you typically choose a module for your course? So you've got your offer, you've been accepted, you're raring to come here.
Yeah.
When roughly would you kind of choose modules?
So again, closer to when your course starts. So if there's options in your course in your first year of study, then that will come nearer the time to enrolment. So look out for any information regarding that closer to enrolment. But you can start thinking about it now. The modules are listed on our website for all our courses. So if you're already thinking about what you're going to pick, then you can already have those ready to select when the time's right.
Super. So once again, just before we come to the end of our session, if anyone has any other questions, it'd be a great time to send them through. So it sounds like that a lot of people can find, if they haven't had certain questions answered, or if there's any prospective students listening here about international offers, they can find more information about that online, can't they?
They can do, yeah. There's a lot of information on our website, so please go and have a look. But please contact us as well, because we've got lots of expertise in our team, home admissions team and the international admissions team. So please get in touch with us and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions, or give us a call as well.
Brilliant. Yeah. We've got a comment from David here saying, Lincoln is amazing, lovely people, lovely city.
Aww.
Couldn't agree more, could we?
Yes, 100%, yes.
Got two more questions here. So what does an offer holder day actually involve, and how similar is it to an open day?
So an offer holder day, you're more involved with your subject. So it's very specific to the subject that you're coming to study. You'll get to, so for example, if you're doing a course where you're involved in the labs, you'll get to experience time in the labs, get to speak to the lecturers. So it's a little bit more intimate than an open day, whereas an open day is very open, very general. You're coming to look at the campus and you do get a chance to look at some of the facilities, but an offer holder day is very much more specific to your subject. So I think you'll get more of a more detailed experience on your offer holder day than you would an open day.
Yeah, and so let's say you're bringing parents, for example, there'll be times where you have to say goodbye for a minute while you go into, small rooms where you get to learn more about the modules, and your parents can go and kind of enjoy a coffee somewhere on campus, which is lovely. Got a question from Emily here. So what determines who will live in your accommodation?
Oh, good question. I know that the accommodation team work really hard to match people up with, similar backgrounds, similar interests. You can, I think, also get in touch with people as well. And if you want to be grouped with a certain group of people, you can contact our accommodation team, who will do their very best to try and put you in groups as well. But obviously it's a very big task for them, given the amount of accommodation we have, because we have got a lot of accommodation here at Lincoln, which is really good. So yeah, if there is any specific people or specific groups of people that you want to be living with, then do get in touch with us, because we can try and organise that for you.
Well, Philippa, I've had an incredible time.
Oh, amazing. That's good. I have to.
We've had an incredible engagement from our audience in the comments. Hopefully we've been able to answer your questions. And if you did have any others, like you were saying, please feel free, send us an email, give us a call, or write it down for an offer holder day or an open day. So thank you very much for everyone for watching, your comments, your questions. And the final one, when are offer holder days?
So the first one's February. Take a look on our website. All the dates are on there, and you'll be sent information about those in due course.
And so these are a great opportunity to get a better feel for your subject, visit the campus, see accommodation. And like I just said, any questions you couldn't get answered, write them down, bring them there. And we're just going to display where you can book a place for your offer holder day here. Thank you everyone for watching.